Hey guys, this is Connor, the Controller Matthews. I'm competing on October 10th on Dana White's Contender Series. I'm going out there fighting a very good opponent. I'm gonna get this win and get this contract. Don't forget to get on there and watch me. All right, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a firefight. It's gonna be a show. I'm going for the finish. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blown Coverage. As always, this is your boy Joey, and I'm here with Grano. And today we have a very special guest with us. He's about 5 days out competing on Dana White's Contender Series. The Controller, Connor Matthews. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm fucking doing great, man. I'm just living life right now, having the time of my life. It's fight week. Fight week is always my favorite weeks, but this one's special, super special for me. So out here in Vegas right now, see my boys are with me, and Taz in the back, and we're getting ready to go.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I know you're very, very busy. Got a big debut coming up, man, and I'm really excited to get right into it. So I was reading your story. I'm very curious to hear, man. I read something very intriguing. At the age of 4 years old, you know, most kids are taking their first swing of T-ball. Most kids are taking off the training wheels of their bicycle. You were already involved in MMA at just 4 years old. Take us through how you got into it at such a young age.
So I got into traditional martial arts when I was a kid. I have an older brother that wanted to get into martial arts, and you know, it's just as like any little kid, like you want to follow what your older brother does. So that's kind of what got me in the door. But I remember when I was a kid, I was just in love with it right away. I remember just the sparring aspect. The instructors, I remember coming out telling my mom, he's like, "Oh, he has no fear. He has no fear." Like he just goes in. It was like some Asian people, and dude, I mean, ever since then, I was just hooked. Like growing up as a kid, like I love Ninja Turtles. I love freaking like Power Rangers. I would just be outside in the backyard fighting millions of people, millions of imaginary people, and then you know, that's kind of progressed from there. Like you know, did martial arts my whole life until MMA really started becoming big when I was in high school, and that's when I started like, oh, like this is another thing I can kind of, you know, go after an attack.
Right.
You said you teenage years. You said you started your MMA really wanting to get into it in high school. Tell me a little bit. Did you have to make any sacrifices? I see that you were a triathlete. You're doing hockey, football.
Yep.
What made you want to choose MMA? Like, did you want to just take MMA, or did you want to do another sport?
So really, it wasn't. Kind of my sensei at the time. He was actually my sensei. Kind of got into MMA, so that kind of got me into MMA. But he's like, we're putting you. Basically, a guy and told me we're gonna put you in the cage. You know what I mean? That when you turn 18, we're gonna put you in the cage, just because I was just so in love with it. But really, like martial arts was always my side sport. Like in high school, you know, it's not really like, you know, I didn't see myself being a professional fighter. You know what I mean? I was actually a hockey player, so I thought that was the route. I was gonna go play hockey in college, and then, you know, try to play in professional hockey, because that's what everybody does, you know, in America, you know, those traditional sports. But my senior year, my last hockey game of my senior year, I blew up my shoulder. So I kind of missed my chance to, you know, start playing for all the good high level hockey teams. And like, I was just kind of frustrated with everything. So what I did anytime in my life, whenever I'm struggling with anything, I go back to martial arts. I go to the gym, because that's kind of like my happy spot. And that, you know, once I started doing that, I went back to the gym. I started, you know, training, and then that's when I took my first fight. And then after that, man, I was just hooked. I loved it. I was like, I knew this is all I wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, you had your first fight, your debut, not long after you graduated high school, right? Yep. So, you know, at that age, you're still a kid, like a teenager, transitioning to a young adult. What was your debut fight like? Can you take us through the emotions leading up to it?
Yeah, so my first MMA fight was scary. So that's my first time I ever seen a cage. You know what I mean? I remember like I had like kickboxing fights growing up as a kid and some boxing fights, but those are different, especially like the smokers in the gym. Usually it's just a different vibe. You know what I mean? You got the headgear, the boxing gloves. But I remember going to my first MMA fight and then just seeing the cage and just being like, and I'm fighting at like 30-something-year-old man, and I was 18. He had big chops on. He was a Marine veteran. I was like, oh shit, like it got real. I remember just being terrified. But like the feeling I got after I won that fight is like the biggest high I've ever had in my entire life, man. I was just so excited. It was just, you know, it was a night I'll never forget, and emotions that I'll never forget.
Absolutely.
You were fighting, you've been fighting for 2 years, amateur, right out of high school. Then after that, your parents kind of started getting on you on what you were going to do.
Yeah.
See that you ended up going into the military. What made you want to choose the military?
So I chose the military because, you know, originally I was wanting to play hockey in college, and, you know, I really wanted to go to college, not for college. I wanted to go to college to play sports. And when I kind of lost that goal of playing sports in college, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was working construction in Boston, you know, working up in the winters on the roofs. It was fucking freezing. It was driving, sitting in traffic there and back. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't really the best. So, you know, my parents were like, what are you going to do? So I was kind of looking at jobs, and I remember a movie came out, Active Valor, which was about Navy SEALs. And I thought, I was like, oh, that's badass. Like, what's that? So I went into a Navy recruiter to talk to them, and they were kind of like, you know, they weren't giving me a Navy SEAL contract to be a Navy SEAL. So I was like, they wanted me to sign up for whatever job. And I know, like anything, if you sign up for any job in the military, you might get a job you hate and you're just not going to like it. So I walked across the hall, talked to the Air Force recruiter, and they told me about this job called Combat Control. And so I started training for that. And I wanted that job because it's something I could do that was very physical, you know what I mean? Like with like training and working out and challenging. And I still got to be an operator. So I was like, I still got to, you know, challenge it. I was thinking at the time, I was like, yeah, I can do that, stay physically fit, and still fight on the side. But little did I know, once you get into special operations, man, that's kind of a life-encompassing job. But it was awesome, man. I got to jump out of planes, go skydiving. I get to scuba dive. I got to, you know, do all this crazy cool shit that I would have never imagined I was going to be able to like do. You know what I mean? They train you up and everything. Got deployment to Afghanistan. And not only it's just the guys you get surrounded with. You get like only 95% attrition rate. So that means 95% of the people that you started with don't make it. Like we had a class of 100 something people, like 5 of us made it. So it's like, you know, you get cut with the best of the best. These guys are just badass, like hardworking, good people to be surrounded around it. And I know it sounds corny, but like iron sharpens iron. So they kind of like growing up in that community made me a way better, stronger, better person. So, you know, now when I came out of my military career and I decided to go back to fighting, I got so much better because my mentality is different. My mental toughness, my ability to stay calm and relax in stressful situations is totally different. So it was just, you know, it was really, and the support I get now from my community has just been unreal. So it's just, I'm really happy I did it. And yeah, it was good shit.
Awesome. I was gonna say, you mentioned you became a combat controller, but something you said in your biography was that you, not only was it one of the hardest things you've done, but it was also one of the most rewarding things in your life. You went through a lot of things right now regarding, you know, what it was like for you, but if there's really, what was your most favorite part of the military overall?
I would say the overall most favorite part is the guys I got connected with. That really is it. I mean, dude, like we go through hell for 2.5 years. It's every single day is like one big giant fight camp, but it's worse. You know what I mean? There's no like reward after you get your beret, which is, you know, what it was probably one of the, you know, things I'm most proud of is that day I earned my beret. You know what I mean? Like that was a big day in my life. But like, you know, you're getting drowned in the pool, you're getting put into the woods, and you can't eat food really, and you're not sleeping, and you're doing all these crazy. So it's like every single day was a rewarding. When you make it through a day and you didn't get washed out, or you know what I mean, that was rewarding. So by the time you get to the end, you know, it's just like it's so rewarding because you dedicated your life to get something, and it was just the whole thing was the most rewarding part of my entire military career. The training really is becoming a combat controller. Super rewarding.
Awesome.
Nice. See that you're an advocate of mental health. You conduct a community-based jiu-jitsu class for first responders, police, fire departments, just showing them a little bit of alternative, positive ways to deal with their trauma and scars. How imperative is your mental health these days?
Super imperative. So one thing I know from the military, and I probably fighters do this, we put our mental health aside because we need to accomplish a mission. So sometimes when you need to get something done, you sacrifice personal health and you just kind of push through and you just kind of put everything else to the side. But like with war, with whatever, but like people don't deal with those issues. So I know a lot of military veterans, like, you know, when they go to war, they get all messed up. You know what I mean? You do things that you kind of regretful, but they're necessary for survival. But you know what I mean? You kind of have to go out there and do things that you're going to regret or you know, you have to do. So when they come home, they don't know how to deal with those emotions, especially the way we are. Is like, that's what we do. We say mission comes first. We get our mission done and everything else doesn't fucking matter. Right. So guys come home, they start hitting the bottle, they start drinking, they don't have any passions, they don't have anything. So like, I think that for me, when that's exactly what I did when I came back from war, is like, that's what got me back into martial arts. I did 6 years. I mean, I would train because it was my passion, but I wasn't like dedicating my life. But when I came back from Afghanistan, I was all messed up and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I always did. Like I said, when I was a kid and I had troubles at school or whatever, or I hurt my shoulder, I just go back to the gym and I started training. And, you know, and mentally, it's made me so much happier. It's brought so much other things to my life. So I'm just trying to share that with other guys. Like, so I open up my gym on Sundays, like any first responders, anybody. I just trying to build that community of guys, or anybody. It doesn't have to be first responders. It's really anybody who's struggling with anything. They want to come down. I think jiu-jitsu is like the best medicine. You focus on jiu-jitsu. You don't think about anything else. It's a good workout, and you get to hang out with cool people. So it's like, I think it's the most important thing for guys to get in there and do that.
That's honestly so great, man. I really love that and respect that you're doing something like that. I have family members in frontline on medical. My brother is actually a paramedic. So that in itself is amazing. And you mentioned, you know, you do that at your gym. I assume you guys train with New England Cartel, correct?
So New England Cartel is my fight team. I train up them. I train them 4 days a week. They're up in northern Massachusetts, and I live in southern Massachusetts. So I drive up there 4 days a week.
Okay.
But I have my own gym in my it's called Mom's Basement. So I got a gym. I got a cage. I got a full-on gym. I got the guys here right now with me. So we have our own gym, but we work. That Cartel is my team as well. So like awesome. That's basically what I do is everything I learn up at Cartel, I bring it back and I teach classes in my gym, and I basically regurgitate everything I'm learning and kind of bring it up my gym as well. So
yeah. What I was going to ask you, you know, to caveat off that question, what is it like for you, you know, being around guys like Rob Font, Calvin Kattar, getting to pick their brain, learning their techniques, and really that's, you know, a sense of what you're going to implement into your game plan and your everyday life of what you do?
It's just the energy, man. Just the seeing how like actual professional fighters, you know, go through. I mean, he's top 5. It's like it's giving me a map to follow instead of just trying to figure this shit out by myself and just kind of, you know, I don't know. Like last year, that's basically what happened. I went to my Contender Series fight. I'm doing the best I can. You know what I mean? I end up getting a loss, but like I'm just doing shit kind of by myself. I was trying to figure it out. So like Tyson Chartier, you know, he's coached guys at the top level. You know what I mean? Rob and Calvin and so it's just like, it's you can't really put a price on it. You can't put anything on it. I mean, it is what it is. It's like if I didn't have them, I wouldn't know where to start. So it's been, you know, wealth of knowledge, and just seeing the way they perform and how they train every day. It just motivates me. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it and help them out, and they can help me out. It's just the whole team aspect. The one thing I learned in the military is that you need a team to get anything done. You can't do anything by yourself. So it's very important to have a good team around you. And I'm just lucky enough to, you know, have a really good team around me.
Connor, what would your UFC goals be? And what would your dream fight be?
I want to be the champ, bro. I mean, if we're not in here to not be the champ, I don't know what we're in here to do. You know what I mean? Like, why would I aim for second place? It doesn't make any sense, right? But my first goal right now is to get into the UFC. Like that's the most important. Whatever I gotta do to get in there, I'm gonna do to get in there, man. Like everybody looks at the outcomes of these fights and stuff like that. I built myself. I already know who I am. I know what I have. I know what I can bring to the table. I know my ability, and I can compete with the best guys in the world. So it's just that's going to take care of itself. I just got to focus on whatever task I have in front of me right now, and one at a time, and just keep climbing, conquer those goals every single day, like I did in the pipeline in the military to get my beret. That's what I'm doing right now. It's every single day you just take care of what business you got to do in that day, and everything else will take care of itself.
Oh yeah. And then what's one of your dream opponents that you'd like to fight?
My dream opponent right now, I would really like to fight Bryce Mitchell. I like Bryce Mitchell. Like, I like him because he's funny. You know what I mean? But I think he's a good high level guy. And I think I can beat him. So like, he's probably one of the first guys I want to take out. You know what I mean? When I get there, when I get to the show, I think I can beat him. So I've been training with Dan Ige this week too. So yeah, I think that'd be a good opponent for me.
Awesome. When you're not fighting, when you're not training and things like that, what are some hobbies that you like to do, like outside of that realm?
Dude, I got way too many hobbies, and I just gotta kind of hold myself back on those things right now. Like, dude, skydiving. I like skydiving. I love snowboarding. I love surfing. I love skateboarding. Anything that really is just dangerous. It seems like I get gravitated to those kind of sports. I don't know why, but yeah, man, I like anything. I like being physical. I like going outside again. I just got to be safe right now because I know, like, I've had friends like just take big diggers and like ruin their shit. So I'm not trying to get hurt right now. So I'm focused on that thing. I'm focused on the my fighting career. But really, I'll be honest. Right now, my favorite hobby is eating food. I cannot wait to get back and eat some food. While I'm kind of fucking waiting right now.
Bet.
Do you have a celebration meal that you're looking forward to?
Dude, honestly, here in Vegas, I will eat anything. There's so much good food. I almost want to stay here a week after because I've been like driving around, just looking at all these good restaurants, bro. It's like there's so much good food around here. So, I really like sushi though. I'm a big sushi guy.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of my favorite foods for sure.
Connor, if you weren't doing MMA, what would you be doing instead?
Fuck, man, I don't know. I mean, I'd probably still be in the military, being a combat controller. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get out of I got out of the career field to pursue this dream. I didn't get out because I didn't like the job. You know what I mean? I really liked being a combat controller. So yeah, I'd probably be still doing that right now. I right now I'm getting actually an opportunity. I have another job where I train and advise guys who are trying out for special operations, guys who are trying to take the test to get in. So that's a also kind of rewarding job for me as well. You know what I mean? I'm still staying connected to the community and helping them out. So I'll probably end up doing that a little bit more full time. And once my fighting can do, and still training, man. Like I want to open up a real gym someday. You know what I mean? Like right now we got the basement gym, but that's just because like I'm fighting, you know what I mean? I can't be running a full-time business and doing that. So I kind of need a space to train, and I train some guys down there. So once I'm like done fighting, I'll probably put all my eggs into like actually building up a good team of like younger guys and having those guys compete.
Awesome. And then last question for me, man. I love asking this question. Who is your Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters? All
right, I would say Anderson Silva. Let's go. All time. First, Anderson Silva. Yeah, he's number one. GSP.
Yeah.
All right, he's definitely up there. Max Holloway. I love Max Holloway, man. And now, to me, Max. I really do think he beat Volk on that fight. You know what I mean? Like that. All right, the third one, obviously. The second one, I think it was.
Yeah.
The second one, right? What? He knocked him down twice. Yeah. The second one was so Volkanovski, John Jones. He's absolutely. He's the GOAT, right? Mm-hmm. And right now, man, it's hard. I think Volk's got to be up there because, like, dude, what he's been doing, and I thought he did really good against
Makhachev.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I'd
run that one back, man.
Yeah, it's such a close fight. I mean, it's so hard. Even I go back to this day, it's still hard to really tell. But it's so close, man. It could go on either way.
Super. If there was another round, it could have probably gone Volk.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put Khabib up there because it's undeniable what he did to the sport, right? I mean, he dominated. You know what I mean? I think he just was ahead of the time with his wrestling style, and he was just, I think people are catching up now, though. Like kind of what you saw Volk in that fight. Like I think people are figuring out the way those Dagestanis are wrestling, and there's going to be a shift. But they were, for a little while, nobody had an answer for it. So you know what I mean? So they're changing the way they train, and I think we'll see a little bit of change. But I think in that portion, when Khabib, he changed the sport. So you're talking about guys who came to the sport and changed the sport, like Wayne Gretzky changed hockey, Michael Jordan changed basketball. There's guys that come in and change the sport, so you got to give those guys the respect.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with that. Thank you so much, man. I know you, like I said, you're a busy guy. You got some training to get back to. Enjoy your time in Vegas. Be safe. And I'll be sure to be watching you on Tuesday, Dana White's The Contender Series.
Yes, we will.
I appreciate you guys. Let's go.
Absolutely, man. All right, guys. This is Joey, Connor Matthews, and Grano signing out. The Blown Coverage. We'll see you guys next time.